Good morning. It's a beautiful day. I hope the weather is cool and nice in your side as it is in mine. It's been a while. I came on live on my morning walk. So I'm going for my morning walk today because I'm working from home today. So I decided to come on live and let's work together and just while I walk. How are you guys doing? How is work? How is family? I hope everything is cool on your side. How is the economy treating you? We bless God. It's, it's crazy. The prices of things are so high. And then let's not even talk about the quality. The quality of most things have gone so very low. Now, I think that me and I want to believe for everybody else, I won't really bother about the price of these things if the quality hasn't dropped so much. Let's even start from bread. Like, you buy bread these days and you're beginning to wonder what is this. The quality of most bread has gone down so badly. You buy some kind of bread and you're wondering if it is bread you're eating or it is foam. Like, nothing, no nutritional value in bread anymore. And it's so small. Wow. I think this is very painful for me, maybe because I like bread a lot. So it's quite painful for me that I get to buy bread at an expensive price and the bread is just crap once you want to eat it. Just a few bread makers who are still trying to maintain the quality of their bread, at least around my area here in Lagos. But most bread these days is just crazy. Now let's not even go near gadgets. Wow, the prices of gadgets have become so high. Okay, the noise is a bit much because of course this is already getting into almost 9 a.m. So everyone is already up and about. This is why I prefer to do my morning walk very early in the morning. It's always a lot quieter and more enjoyable, but unfortunately I couldn't get out early enough this morning, so I'm here. Okay, so I was talking about the price of gadgets. Wow, let's not even go near the price of gadgets these days. So I used to sell gadgets, laptops, phones, but I just gave up along the line this year because the prices were already too high from the market. Then by the time you now put your own margin, it's just crazy. So I just left that part of business. I just had to let go of it. I just had to opt out of it because it was becoming crazy. So a friend of mine lost his phone some weeks ago and he needed to get another phone. Now the price was crazy. It was crazy. As well. Even to buy, I even need to buy a laptop, but the price is just so high. I just had to leave it and say, okay, I'll buy it some other time. I'm trying to save towards buying a good one, because now it's not even about buying the gadget expensively. It's just best to save up money to buy a very good one, so that you will not be wasting money on what may not last long. Okay, so now let's not even talk about house rents. House rent in Lagos, Nigeria, as of today, I have a few friends who are trying to um, start life on their own, get an apartment. It's crazy how high or how expensive rent is now these days. And in Nigeria, we don't do the monthly rent payment thing. What we do is it's a whole year of rent you pay, and then I think it has its pros and its cons. The pro is that you get to make the payment once, and you know that for the next 1 year you are good on rent, and then you can begin to save up towards the next rent. But the con is that you get to, most of your savings at the end of the day goes into paying rent, because the rent is so high. And then I think the most frustrating part is that the quality of these houses are not even worth the rent. They are not even worth the rent. At least in those days, at least as at the time when my husband and I were going to start out our life and were renting, at that time we considered rent very expensive too, but I think it was still a bit more reasonable then. You see, now the houses are not worth the prices that they are being given out for. You go to some houses, I think the problem with housing in Lagos started with the so-called house agents. I think they are the main problem of housing in Lagos, and I really think that the government needs to do something about them, because I think they are the ones that give the landlords the idea of the ridiculous way they build some of those houses. And then, unfortunately, I don't think there is any agency in Nigeria that is dedicated to monitoring the quality of houses. So everybody just builds whatever they like, and then give it whatever price they want, and then expect people to rent it. And of course, people end up renting those ridiculous houses, because you get to a point where you have tried to get good quality house, you are not getting, and you are just at the end of your options, and you just go for whatever you think is the next nice apartment that you can find. So a while back, a friend of mine was trying to rent an apartment, and we used to go together for house hunting with the agents. Oh boy, there were days when even I myself, I was frustrated on my friend's behalf, because they take you to some houses and you are wondering, man, why would you bring me to this kind of apartment? Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Why would you think that? Why would you look at me as a human being and bring me to this kind of apartment and expect me to rent it? But the truth is, people rent these houses. So now I don't even know who to blame. Is it the people renting the houses? Is it the people building the houses? I don't even know who to blame, because I feel like if they build, these builders or these landlords or these agents, if they build some kind of ridiculous houses and people don't rent it, I feel like their audacity will come down a bit. But because they build all these kind of ridiculous houses, and people end up renting them for ridiculous amounts, so it gives them the audacity to continue building this kind of houses. And again, because the government is not involved in regulating what these buildings should look like, then everybody gets to do whatever they like. So I think it's a 3-in-1 blame kind of thing. So I think the government has their own part of the blame. The landlords and the agents have their own part of the blame. Then the people who are renting the houses also have their own part of the blame. Because you pass through some streets, you see some kind of houses, and you're wondering, why are people living in this kind of place? But trust me, people are living there. And the annoying thing is that I don't think the houses are that cheap. So it leaves me wondering, must everybody really live in the cities? But at the end of the day, I don't blame people, because the economy is not exactly friendly. So everybody just wants to live in the place where at least they can find good jobs, or be able to do business that can sell. And all of these things are only available in cities like Lagos. And I think that's why a lot of people, that's why there's an overpopulation or mass migration in cities like Lagos. And that's what is informing the housing. So at this point, I think the government needs to really step in. Government needs to step in and create a policy for what kind of houses people are allowed to build, how much rent people are allowed to build for, and all of those things. You know, the other things these things are actually basic things, but the government of Nigeria, it is well, like we always say, it is well. I've been working for how many minutes now? Almost 13 minutes. Okay, it's been great. So let's keep gisting. Okay, so I've spoken about housing. What else? Okay, let's not even talk about schooling. Like, it's almost as if the government of Nigeria does not want the children of middle class people to go to school anymore, because education in Nigeria has become so expensive, mostly because, especially in the primary and secondary level, mostly because government-owned schools are not exactly where anyone would want to take their children to, especially the government primary schools. The secondary schools are still a little bit manageable. The universities manageable, but you see the primary schools, which is the basic education system, which is the foundation of education, is nothing to write home about. It's nothing to write home. The condition of the school buildings, the teachers, they don't pay these teachers well enough. So everybody just comes and do whatever they like. They are not invested in imparting knowledge in these children. So unless you can afford to take your children to the private schools, I'm afraid the children of the average Nigerian may not be able to go to school. And that's so sad. The sad part of this is that most of our now government officials, they were recipients of free education up to university level. But now they are all in power, and it looks like they are just not interested. They are just concerned about themselves and their family. They are not interested in making life easy for the average Nigerian. It's sad, really. It's sad. I hope that everyone who is looking to go into politics in Nigeria will make it not about themselves, but about true community service or true people service. But unfortunately, most politicians in Nigeria are not concerned about people service. They are just going there for the money, they are going there for the fame, they are going there for the power that the position is going to afford them. And that's one of the banes of the democratic government in Nigeria. I'm afraid that maybe only 1 or 2% of Nigerian politicians are actually there for service to the people. The remaining 98% are there, unfortunately, for their own pockets and for their families. And it's sad. It's just sad. There are a lot of well-meaning Nigerians who try their best to do these things, but let's be honest, how much really can individuals do? How much really can individuals do? This is not to say individuals too should not contribute their own quota, which I know a lot of people are doing in their own little way, from their own little space. But the government officials that we elected that are supposed to do most of these things are unfortunately not doing it. So at the end of the day, the little that the individuals are doing is unfortunately not making so much impact. It's not making so much impact. So education system in Nigeria is no longer what it used to be. At least people like me, I went to a government secondary school, and at the time I went to a government secondary school, my secondary school then was one of the top 10 secondary schools in Lagos State. But as of today, even I cannot take my child to that same secondary school. Say my child wants to go to secondary school, and I cannot take my child to that same secondary school because it's not what it used to be. I went to my secondary school some 3-4 years ago, and I left there very sad because unfortunately the buildings were still, or even in worse states than they were when I was there. There are no bathrooms, no toilets for the students. The classrooms are just not conducive for learning. It was a sight for sore eyes. I don't know if that's the correct idiomatic expression I should be using, but it was just bad. It was really bad. I wasn't happy at all by what I saw. And it's not like the old student association has several times, but unfortunately again, things in Nigeria are not always black and white. Things in Nigeria sometimes has a lot of grayness in it. So again, it's not like individuals or old student association or non-governmental associations don't want to help, but there are too many gray areas. So at the end of the day, a lot of people just give up and say, as long as my family is okay. I am okay too. And they just give up trying to help. Okay, I'm almost home. I've been working for 20 minutes. Thank you for coming with me on this walk. I hope and pray that Nigeria gets better, because I am one of the few people who still believes that Nigeria will be great. So I'm doing the little I can from my own little space, and I'm also praying to God, and I'm calling on other Nigerians like me. Do the little you can from your own sphere of influence. Do the right things. Be patriotic. Be patriotic. Pray for Nigeria. Pray for Nigeria. And I pray that Nigeria will indeed be great again. So I come your way again in another live video or another video upload or short upload. It's fine. Bye for now. Bye.